How's it going, guys? This is me, myself, I'm here, and we are back with another visual novel. It's about finding a ring or something. Very, very different style than the last two, or even the last one, because it says this is about a ring. Okay, and you found it. 10 minutes, just 10 more minutes. I eyed the clock anxiously, waiting for the moment every student in the classroom yearns for. See, this one has native spacebar support. Whose mic didn't? And I'd set something up, which is not really a point that I'm sad about. It's just confusing since they were both made with Ren'Py, which is a really popular thing to make visual novels with. Just another 10 minutes and I'll be free of this prison. A handful of other students followed my example, watching every second tick by as we awaited the end of another school day. Time seemed to slow down the closer we got. Our teacher's voice became more tired and drawn out, and every moment became agony until at last, "Alright class, that's it for today." Proving to be as unmotivated as the rest of us, teacher concluded the lesson with a time to spare. Early mark. Heck yeah! Please take down whatever notes you need for the... Azure, what are you doing? Before the teacher could finish speaking, I had stuffed all my belongings into my school bag and jumped up from my seat. Okay, apparently I'm a kawaii as fuck girl named Azure. Like the Spanish color? Hello, nice to meet you. I am blue. Or I don't know if they want to take a Japanese spin on the pronunciation. That would be Azure. I'm gonna call her Azure, and then I'll change my mind if I find different names that are conflicting. Oh, sorry. Goodbye, sensei. Aha, that was rude of me. How could I just leave the classroom without saying goodbye to our teacher? Azure, that's not what before sensei could lecture me, I dashed out of the classroom with the kind of grace and elegance one would expect from an 18-year-old high school girl. Really? Okay, let's go back. Does she look 18 to you? What? Really now, trying to chain me to that boring classroom? What kind of life is that? Life is for living. I'll study when I'm dead. I like this girl already. That was my philosophy. I'll study when I'm dead. I skipped gleefully down the hallway. I am also this girl. I have also skipped gleefully down the hallways of my high school, ignoring Sensei's aggravated shouts and heading straight for the front entrance. As disheartening as it may sound, this is pretty much a normal day at school for me. Pay as little attention as possible, sneak out of class at every opportunity, and leave the second our teacher puts his chalk down. For someone serious about their studies, such a lifestyle would seem blasphemous. Conversely, anybody interested in club activities or spending time with their friends would consider it was a waste. But not me. My only regret is that I can't leave class any sooner, or not attend to begin with. I wouldn't go that far. Because the truth is, I can't stand this place. I wouldn't go that far, woman, lady, girl, ma'am. Ha, what a day. I was asleep in class more often than I was awake, and I'm pretty sure I didn't learn a thing. Success! Papa would be pissed if he knew. After returning home from school, I buried my head in my pillow, immediately reflecting on my actions. Though I had no problem leaving class early or skipping class, my father was another matter altogether. I shuddered at the thought of what my father might do if the school rang him. Having an ace detective for a father isn't as much fun as everyone thinks. He has an innate ability to sense when I'm hiding something from him, and his interrogations are never by the book. What does that even mean? Like, I know what that means, but what does that even mean? I'm no expert in legal studies, but I'm pretty sure tickling me into submission is a violation of the Geneva Convention. As I sighed deeply over my own fate, I glanced around the room for some way to kill the time before my father returned. Fortunately, unlike most girls of my age, I don't have any interest in fashion or TV dramas, or boys, or anything considered girly. Worse, as easy as life would be if I were a tomboy, I have no interest in sports or video games either. The only recreational activity I ever indulged in is the detective training my father was mandated since I was a little girl. So you pretty much don't like anything. You don't like boy stuff, you don't like girl stuff. You just don't like... I was gonna say you don't like existing, but you like sleeping and not doing anything. So you like being a bum on society. That seems pretty much right. Have you seen a doctor about clinical depression? Really, Papa, this is all your fault. What kind of father teaches his only daughter about useless junk like that? Even if I did want to be a detective, he could have at least waited until I was out of diapers. If only Mama was here to keep him in line. My mother left us when I was still a toddler, shot by someone with a grudge against my father. Her parents, my grandparents, offered to take me in, but my father stubbornly refused, insisting that he would take good care of me. Fortunately, his fatherly duties ended there. Always occupied by work, he left me at home alone on a daily basis, leaving me to more or less fend for myself. The only time I ever spent together was his mandatory detective training, or when I got in trouble at school. Needless to say, the latter became a habit. It's not that I have a problem with learning. If the subject is interesting, then I'm happy to pay full attention. They just never teach anything interesting. See, that's my thought exactly. But every day it's just the same boring, useless junk. Usually, the way things are going, I'd be better off. Shook my head as negative thoughts began to cloud my mind. Living such an uneventful life, I often found myself thinking things I shouldn't. Have you been checked for clinical depression? I contemplated Skype noises and answering them, but I also... Stop it! I contemplated leaving home, quitting school, or just doing something terrible so Papa would have the choice but to watch over me. Stop! I know exactly who it is too, and that's the worst part. Even though I knew such thoughts were bad, with a life as meaningless as mine, I had no reason to think that way. After all, what was the point of living a life without meaning? An early mark from school, how do I use it? I really need some excitement in my life. God damn it. As darkness began to fall over the city, a solitary figure stalking the night. He walked up and down the street looking for an artifact long forgotten. Oh, this is just narrative. Alright, sorry. Sorry, game. I apologize. A valuable artifact of enormous value, exceeded only by its power. But no matter how long they searched, the artifact eluded them. Not here either. Classy Photoshop work there. I know it's around here somewhere. Many years had been spent tracking the value item down, but only now was the search reaching its conclusion. After so many hunters reached their demise seeking the relic, only its true owner, the one person unable to use it, had proven capable. After so many years of searching, praying that nobody would beat me to it, I shall once again take possession of what is rightfully mine. Tonight, I shall take to the stars once more. Alright? Another day drearily passed me by. I found myself pacing around the house, waiting for my father's imminent return. I wasn't in a hurry to see him. In fact, if possible, I hoped to spend the night without facing his incessant questioning. But a part of me craved the interaction any FaceTime with my father might offer, and I knew I'd have to face the music sooner or later. Geez, I've been through this countless times, but facing Papa still makes me nervous. I guess there's a reason he's so good at his job. Playing nice cop won't always cut it. As I mulled those carefree thoughts, I hear the sound of a key unlocking the front door. Welcome back, Papa. Totally doesn't look 18. Father? Shut up, child. I don't want to talk to you. Faced with my enthusiastic greeting, my father only stared at me silently. He placed his coat and suitcase on the kitchen table, loosed his tie, and sorry, and set out a weary sigh. A hard day at work? When is it not? My father turned to face me. His voice sounded relaxed, but knowing my father, it was merely the calm before the storm. Of course, it would be easier if I didn't keep fielding phone calls from your school. Honestly, you snuck out of class again? It was literally like 5 minutes and she said class was over. What have I told you about disrespecting your teachers, huh? In a split second, he jumped from a relaxed tone to an interrogator mode. Hey, it's not like that. Oh, then what was it like? Class was already over. The bell was just about to ring. Yeah? Well, you can just go to your room and think about what you've done. Papa, now! Well, putting up a fight, I headed straight to my room and slumped down in my bed. I had no desire to further enrage my father, and I knew that the longer we spoke, the more information he would extract from me. So if my sentence was to be a night cooped up in my room, then I considered it a light punishment. Not that it really matters. I already ate dinner before Papa came home, and I have nothing interesting to do anyways. You could study. Whether I'm in my bed, the living room, or the kitchen, it doesn't change the fact that I'm bored out of my mind. The only upside to being sent to my room is I know how to sneak out. Or I can do nothing and be bored. Having escaped from my room, I quickly left earshot of my house, headed down the street, going in the opposite direction of my school, and aimlessly strolled through the night. I'm pointing at nothing, like you can see. Whew. Much better. I hate being cooped up in that house almost as much as I hate being stuck in school. It's different if I have something to pass the time, like a good book to read, or a new crime documentary to watch. Well, then why didn't you do that? The other 99% of the time, sleep is the only thing I look forward to. I don't know why the screen keeps flashing black. That's not my monitor like from the last one. My monitor went out when it came back. The screen is actually flashing black. It's kind of weird. While silently complaining to myself, I lost track of how far and for how long I've been walking, across countless roads, all unfamiliar to me, and wound up in a part of town that I'd never visited before. Oh no, this can't be happening. Got lost in my thought and forgot to watch where I was going. Worse, I didn't bring my mobile phone, so I can't call Papa for help. Well, you did sneak out, so I'm pretty sure he'd be even more mad if you called him, saying, I snuck out, but I'm lost. Come help me. Actually, that part might feel the best. You'll only be scolded for leaving class early, but also for sneaking out of the house, and worst of all, for getting lost. That's what I just said! We think alike. Zure. We think alike. I got you. Because according to Papa, a good detective is always mindful of their surroundings. So getting lost is... that's it! As the training my father put me through bubbled to the surface, I combed through my short-term memory, mapping out a path back home. I worked backwards, through every intersection, every park, every vacant lot. Why were you walking through vacant lots? I never thought that extensive regimen my father put me through come in handy. Thought it was all just useful information, completely bereft of any practical application. But now, in my hour of need, I wish I had paid more attention. Tried my best to recall the path I took, but as I was deep in thought at the time, I hadn't paid attention in the slightest. This is bad. I'm just getting myself more and more lost. Probably crossed over into another city by now. Don't find a payphone or someone to ask for directions, then, just as I began to feel desperate, a shadowy figure emerged before me. Couldn't see their face due to the darkness, or the fancy Photoshop work, and how far away they were, but nonetheless, I had found someone. Finally, I'm saved. Hey! That's my thoughts exactly. As I called out, the shadowy figure ran in the opposite direction. Oh no, you don't. I chased after the mysterious person, paying no heed to the circumstances surrounding us. Even it seemed dangerous, shouting out to a complete stranger in the middle of the night. I truly needed their help. I don't care if they think I'm a rapist or an axe murderer or whatever. The sun will start to come up soon. I need to find my way home ASAP. Chasing after the figure didn't work. I decided to take a more stealthy approach. Using my father's detective training once again, I stalked my target, keeping my distance and waiting in the shadows. And surely enough, after not catching a glimpse of me for a while, the figure let their guard down. That was close. The target breathed a sigh of relief, but moments later they appeared to be overcome by wonder. Wait a second. They moved towards the platform in the middle of the warehouse we had wandered into. Though conspicuous and obviously suspicious, the platform had a certain allure, like it was holding a sacred treasure. Sacred treasure, you say? Eyebrows raise. It is! I finally found it! I need to call HQ immediately. Without wasting a moment, the figure ran outside, either excited or desperate after their interesting find.